And good evening. We begin tonight with President Trump's stark warning to Russia ahead of that high-stakes summit just days away. The president announcing today that he will be, quote, there will be, quote, very severe consequences if Russian President Vladimir Putin doesn't agree to end the war after Friday's meeting in Alaska, though he didn't specify what that could entail. Trump also meeting virtually with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other European leaders. Zelensky reiterating that Ukraine should be part of any talks and accusing Putin of bluffing about its desire for peace. In just 2 days, Trump and Putin will meet on U.S. soil at Elmendorf Air Force Base in Anchorage. Zelensky not invited to the summit, but Trump promising today he plans to call the Ukrainian leader right after his conversation with Putin. But while the leaders discussed peace, on the ground in Ukraine, a different story entirely. Russia ramping up its attacks in the last few weeks. It all begs the question, how much can this historic meeting really accomplish? Our Richard Engel has been covering this war since it started more than 3 years ago. He leads us off tonight on the ground in Ukraine.
Russia has been intensifying its assaults on Ukraine. Ukrainians say it's an obvious and callous attempt by Russia to strengthen its hand before Friday's key summit between Presidents Trump and Putin in Alaska. Today, President Trump listened to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and European allies, who told him what they hope will come out of the Alaska meeting and what they hope to avoid. On the call, Zelensky, along with the leaders of France, the UK, NATO, Italy, Poland, Finland, and others, said they advised President Trump not to make any sweeping peace deal with Putin that changes Ukraine's borders without Ukraine in the room. Zelensky was not invited to Alaska.
How were your calls this morning with European leaders, and was it your call not to invite President Zelensky to your meeting with Putin?
No, just the opposite. No. We had a very good call. He was on the call. President Zelensky was on the call. I would rate it a 10.
President Trump said another meeting could follow Friday's summit with Putin and didn't rule out Zelensky joining that one.
There's a very good chance that we're going to have a second meeting, which will be more productive than the first.
Adding if Putin doesn't agree to end the war,
there will be very severe consequences.
After more than 3 years of fighting, Russia currently occupies about 20% of Ukraine. A peace deal could see Ukraine forced to surrender some or most of that territory. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said Ukraine is willing to make territorial concessions. He didn't say where or how much. We want the negotiations to proceed in the right order. A ceasefire must come first, he said. President Zelensky remains deeply skeptical. He said he told President Trump today that Putin is bluffing, playing for time, and that he still wants to occupy all of Ukraine, even if he agrees to meet in the name of peace.
Richard Engel joins us tonight live from Dnipro, Ukraine. Richard, you've been covering this war for 3.5 years now. What's the feeling there tonight?
Well, Tom, there's a lot of apprehension on multiple levels. I mean, just look at where I am right now. I'm in the city of Dnipro, which is a major city in central Ukraine. And the reason it's pretty much black behind me isn't because there's a blackout in the city. It is because here every night, and in many cities in Ukraine, people turn off the lights because of the constant Russian drone attacks. So Ukrainians want a ceasefire. They want one right now, but they are afraid that President Trump and Vladimir Putin are going to get together, potentially carve off 20% of this country.
And then, Richard, we just have new reporting that came in tonight to NBC News on what President Trump told Volodymyr Zelensky and U.S. allies in the meeting today. What have we learned?
Potentially very reassuring news to Ukrainians. According to two European officials, President Trump told Zelensky that he won't talk about territory, he won't discuss maps, he won't talk about borders, that his goal is to reach a ceasefire, and that is the objective of this meeting. And that is the same message that European leaders were stressing today. Keep it focused. Don't try and get a big deal. Focus on a ceasefire. Talk toward territory later.
All right, our Richard Engel for us tonight in Ukraine. Richard, our thanks to you. And we'll see Richard later in the broadcast to look at some of the pivotal moments that shaped the Russia-Ukraine war leading up to Friday's critical summit. But right now in this country, millions across the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast under threat of severe storms. It comes after sudden catastrophic floods slammed parts of Tennessee, leaving at least 4 people dead. NBC's Erin Gilchrist is on the ground in hard-hit Chattanooga tonight.
Tonight, punishing rain and deadly flooding for a second day in a row in parts of Tennessee and Georgia. Tennessee officials blaming severe flooding and saturated ground for 4 confirmed deaths, including a man in Chattanooga. Authorities say he was swept away by a swollen creek during Tuesday's storm.
We did not expect, especially the gravity of what occurred, to hit us and then in such a short period of time.
This incredible video capturing a man in neck-high water rescuing a woman from a submerged vehicle caught in flash flooding. Anderson Stout got stuck there too and captured the video.
After it had happened, I kind of came to and I was like, wow, that was serious. That was scary.
The Chattanooga area saw just over 6 inches of rain on Tuesday, marking its second wettest day ever.
There were 25 to 30 cars that were broken down, not moving. Nobody was in it. I mean, it was surreal.
Meanwhile, out west, wildfires still raging. Today, red flag warnings are in effect for 7 million, including people in Washington, Utah, and Colorado, as heat and winds pick up. And in Juneau, Alaska, residents are breathing a sigh of relief.
The Mendenhall has crested, and it is starting to go down.
The worst appears to be over in the capital city after record flooding related to the Mendenhall Glacier forced evacuations and school closures. Police say the barriers are holding with no significant water incidents. Back in northern Georgia, this week's powerful storms forcing nearly 100 people to evacuate their apartments, many by boat, leaving their lives turned upside down.
You see, it's pretty bad. I mean, everything, it's total loss.
And in the Northeast tonight, severe storms hammering cities with rain and forcing airport delays and cancellations.
Erin Gilchrist joins us tonight live from that storm zone. Erin, the rain has subsided there, but there's still a concern of flooding where you are?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tom. And I think one of the big drivers of that concern is this body of water right here. This is the South Chickamauga Creek. This is the creek where that man drowned overnight. It's also one that we're told is about 6 feet higher than it normally is around this time. We know there's been rain over the last couple of days. There is a river flood warning in place for this particular body of water that's supposed to go through the afternoon tomorrow. And at the same time, the forecast is calling for thunderstorms in this area possibly tomorrow as well. Tom?
Erin Gilchrist for us. Erin, we thank you. Let's get right to NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns tonight. Bill, millions across the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast still under the threat for severe storms. What are you watching right now?
Yeah, flash flooding, severe weather, lots of lightning, too, in the New York City area, and the airports are just a disaster. So let's get to, first off, the flash flood threat. 15 million people are still included in this. We haven't had much today from Nashville into areas of Alabama and North Georgia. It's still possible. The worst of it is up here in the Northeast, the urban corridor, I-95, really focusing on the Philadelphia to New York City area. We're under severe thunderstorm warning, southern portions of Manhattan, Brooklyn into Queens. A lot of lightning with these storms. Very heavy storms just north of Philadelphia, and a big one about to go through northern portions of Delaware with some strong gusty winds. And I mentioned the airports are bad. It's just, we've had a repeat all summer long. We've had these afternoon and evenings like this. 2 to 3 hour delays now. LaGuardia, Newark, and JFK. Not much better in D.C. either. About 2 hours, Tom.
All right, and then while we have you here, you know what we're going to ask you about? Yes. Tropical Storm Erin. What's the latest and any shift in the track?
So you're smart. You know we have to keep on these. Even though we're still saying it looks like it's mostly going to miss the U.S., when you're still 7 days away from that, things can change. And so not much has changed as far as Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. We still think this is going to become a big, powerful storm. We only get 2 major hurricanes each season, and this one looks like it'll be one by the weekend, possibly a Category 3, maybe even a Category 4 by the time we get into Monday. Here's what's changed just a little bit. Overnight last night, all the models were trending much further away from the U.S. coast. This morning, our European models, all these blue lines, have shifted a little bit closer to the East Coast. Now, we don't know if that's just kind of like a one-time thing or if that's a trend. We'll find out in the next couple of days. But for all our friends in areas of the Carolinas all the way down into Georgia and including Virginia, you still have to keep a close eye on this. This is going to be a major, huge hurricane. And we can't yet, Tom, say it's not heading for the U.S. East Coast. And until we can, we have to watch it.
At the very least, rough seas out there as well.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, we thank you. We're also following breaking news tonight, a school bus rollover just outside of Austin. Check this out. It was the first day of school for the 42 students on board with their bus driver. According to authorities, at least 10 were transported to the hospital. 2 students are in serious condition. They are both expected to survive. 8 others sustained minor injuries. Okay, now to Washington. And The new on-camera gig for President Trump. The former reality TV star announcing he'll personally host the Kennedy Center Honors this year, all part of his plan to reshape American pop culture and some of the country's iconic institutions. Our own Gabe Gutierrez was in the room where it happened.
What's going on over here?
Already a near constant presence at wrestling matches and NFL games. Tonight, President Trump is expanding his role in American pop culture at the latest battleground of the culture war.
We ended the woke political programming, and we're restoring the Kennedy Center as the premier venue for performing arts anywhere in the country.
After naming himself chairman of the board earlier this year, President Trump is now declaring he'll lead the Kennedy Center's awards ceremony in December.
I've been asked to host. I said, I'm the president of the United States. Are you fools asking me to do that? Sir, you'll get much higher ratings.
The Kennedy Center has been home to dazzling performances since the 70s. Today, the president suggested he might choose himself for a future award.
I would have taken it if they would have called me. I waited and waited and waited, and I said, the hell with it, I'll become chairman. And I'll give myself an honor. Maybe I'm going to honor, next year we'll honor Trump, okay?
Before announcing this year's honorees.
I would say I was about 98% involved. No, they all went through me. I turned down plenty. They were too woke. I had a couple of wokesters.
The winners include rock legends Kiss, disco queen Gloria Gaynor, blockbuster action hero Sylvester Stallone.
Sly is a pillar of the really American pop culture and one of the biggest names on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In fact, the only one that's a bigger name on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, they say, is a guy named Donald Trump.
The president also ordering a review of the Smithsonian's museum exhibitions, a White House letter stressing the iconic institution should ensure alignment with the president's directive to celebrate American exceptionalism and issue corrections where necessary. Critics say it amounts to rewriting history.
It's downright Orwellian. It's something you'd see in an authoritarian regime.
In a few short months since I became chairman of the board, the Kennedy Center, we have completely reversed the decline of this cherished national institution. It was being run down.
At the Kennedy Center tonight, portraits of the president, first lady, and vice president greet visitors as the commander-in-chief reshapes much more than politics.
With that, Gabe Gutierrez joins us live from the White House. Gabe, the president and Republicans also taking some steps to preserve the president's vision for the Kennedy Center long after he leaves office. Explain to our viewers how.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. Look, first, Congress has set aside $257 million for renovations of the Kennedy Center. The president toured it today and apparently has some ideas for how to do that. But as you mentioned, there's a Republican bill in Congress that proposes renaming the entire Kennedy Center after President Trump. Some Republicans also want to rename the Opera House after the First Lady, Melania Trump. Tom.
All right, a lot there. We'll see what happens. Gabe, we thank you for that story. Next tonight, we want to take you deep underground to the secret tunnels below the southern border. Those tunnels used by cartels to smuggle drugs into the U.S., but also, our team learned, they may be used to smuggle people. NBC's Morgan Chesky has a first-hand look.
Steps from the U.S.-Mexico border, there's a hidden battle below. Coming down. We went underground with U.S. Customs and Border Protection for a closer look at how they say they're hitting cartels where it hurts.
So we've made it about 20 feet down, but this is where this system really opens up, stretching back this way.
We followed Agent Lance Lenore through a tunnel that CBP says was designed by smugglers, one of dozens intercepted by his team.
When you get down in a tunnel like this one and you shine your light and it just keeps going, I mean, what are you thinking?
There's nothing that really surprises us too much anymore.
We found a bounce house blower modified to pull in fresh air and metal rails allegedly used for moving large quantities of drugs.
For every one of these tunnels that you cut off to a cartel, how hard is that hitting them?
Oh, significantly. That's a year's worth of hard labor down the drain.
And the profit from pushing drugs through?
I would imagine that's pretty crushing to the people who actually constructed this.
But with the border crackdown above, business below may be changing, with human smugglers trying to take advantage. Video obtained exclusively by NBC News shows an adult and child crossing through a tunnel big enough to walk through. The message written in Chinese characters is clear. Get into the U.S. without getting caught. Another claims to show a different group of migrants running into the U.S. and these people sharing in Mandarin. The exact date they say they entered, June 22nd, 2025. Neither NBC News nor CBP were able to verify the authenticity of these videos. CBP doesn't deny human smuggling is taking place underground, but the agency says it's not uncommon for smugglers to falsely advertise safe passage for profit. Back above ground, agents take us to an area between the border wall known as No Man's Land, where the tunnel team made their latest discovery.
8-inch borehole in there, hit it dead center.
First try?
First try.
A nearly 3,000 long foot tunnel running 50 feet beneath where we stood.
If the cartel had their way, this tunnel would have popped up.
Yep.
Where?
Pick any warehouse in this area right here.
An illicit empire worth billions, fueling a never-ending fight underground. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Otay Mesa, California.
Okay, we want to turn out of money talks and the tough outlook for young men this summer, looking for their first job right out of college. And amid a wider slowdown in hiring, the unemployment rate for young men with bachelor's degrees has jumped in recent months to 6%. Young women at the same level of education facing only 3.5% unemployment. And on top of that, a reversal of the conventional wisdom about going to college, young men with four-year college degrees are now more likely to be unemployed than those with just a high school diploma. That's incredible. For more, editor-in-chief of Investopedia, Caleb Silver, joins us now, an old friend at Top Story. Caleb, good to see you. Caleb, what's going on here? We've told generations of young people, go to college, get a degree, you'll find a job. What's happening here?
Yeah, a lot of people are calling this a he session, a cracking of the American dream, where you thought you did the right thing. You went to college, you got a degree. A lot of young men getting degrees in business and finance and in other areas where they thought they could get hired, having a harder and harder time. The economy's changing. It's about to make a real change over the next few years as we try to change this economy into a manufacturing economy. But right now, a really difficult time for men at a key time in their lives.
Do we know why it's happening?
Well, you got to changing the economy, but also you have to think about and look at where the hiring has been for the past several years, and that is in healthcare and social assistance. And most of those jobs, about 76 to 80%, taken by women. Not that men can't do those jobs, they just haven't gone into those fields. They've pursued computer science, they've pursued the MBA, they've pursued other degrees where they thought they could earn a lot of money. Not a lot of hiring there. In fact, a lot of firing in the big tech jobs.
Yeah, another sign that young men are rethinking what a career can be. I want to put this up for our viewers here. Fall enrollment at trade schools projected to grow to 6.6 this year, with more and more white-collar jobs changing with AI. Is this the answer for young men looking to enter the job market? And I know you can now do 529 plans. They want to change the rules so you can use them for trade schools as well. And trade schools provide great jobs as well.
Absolutely. And this is a very positive development, especially if we're going to be switching over or trying to pivot to more of a manufacturing economy. But think of trade schools as plumbing, electricians. You can build six-figure careers, run your own business if you have one of these careers and be employed for a very long time. You're not going to get replaced by AI if you're a good plumber. So that's where we're seeing a lot of enrollment. Also apprenticeships, Tom. So important for young people in general to learn a trade, learn it from a skilled craftsperson, and then grow their own trade, grow their own business, control their destiny, because right now the economy is changing fast and they may get left behind if they don't get a career.
And there's a real danger here, right? Because if these young men are going to college, they're getting the four-year degree, maybe they're taking loans out and they're starting not from zero, but with negative income, and then they can't even find a job. I mean, that's a real tough place to start. That's actually terrible advice we're giving these people.
Absolutely, and it's in a key moment of their careers where they're trying to establish their careers, start investing, start saving for the future, but you have all these pressures, home affordability at an all-time low, just the ability to think you did the right thing by going to college, to build a career, own a home eventually, have a little bit of prosperity. That's slipping further and further away, especially for young men right now, especially for those with an education. Hopefully, they'll find a way to find career paths through this and the transition of this economy.
Caleb, always great to have you. We thank you for being here tonight. We are back now with the former postal worker busted in California for stealing credit cards out of the mail and using them to pay for vacations, designer goods, and more. NBC's Yasmin Vasuvian has more on how authorities tracked her down and the plea deal she's now taken.
On social media, former U.S. postal carrier Marianne McDermott boasted about lavish trips to Hawaii, designer shopping sprees, and the piles of cash she pulled in. But tonight, federal prosecutors in Southern California say she funded that luxurious lifestyle by stealing checks and credit cards out of the mail that she was meant to deliver. McDermott, arrested in July after a complaint to the Postal Service hotline led them to a Home Depot, where prosecutors say surveillance footage appeared to catch the postal worker using a stolen card to buy this rug. Authorities executing a search warrant at her apartment late last year, finding stacks of cash, 113 credit and debit cards, 20 checks addressed to others, and a loaded ghost gun. Her seized luxury goods appraised at $21,000. According to a criminal complaint, McDermott told prosecutors how the scam worked, saying she would steal the debit or credit cards directly from the mail. At times, buying the real cardholders' social security numbers to activate the cards. Also, sometimes obtaining fake phone numbers through an app to conceal herself when making the activation call, telling investigators, quote, "I tried to change the way I moved."
Well, not only did the search warrant yield incriminating evidence, the defendant apparently offered a confession to her crimes. This is essentially an airtight case for the government. No surprise that this defendant came in very quickly to plead guilty.
McDermott would then head to places like the Apple Store and use the stolen cards to make purchases. Prosecutors say she also worked with co-conspirators to cash checks in other people's names, using fake IDs or to sell the cards she didn't use herself, making about $500 each time. She even talked about targeting EDD cards, investigators saying those are prepaid debit cards used in California to distribute payments for those on unemployment, disability, and paid family leave. McDermott is behind bars tonight after pleading guilty to bank fraud and agreeing to hand over more than $8,000 in cash, a Rolex watch, and designer items from fashion houses like Hermes and Balenciaga.
And with that, Yasmin joins us now in studio. So, Yasmin, how much time could this former postal carrier face? And then what was some of the other evidence they had in this case?
So sentencing is coming in the fall. Up to 30 years in prison is what she is facing. But according to the complaint, they had mounted a camera inside her mail truck. And they saw her essentially sorting the mail, pouring out some of the mail onto a shelf inside the mail truck. This is all according to the complaint. And then putting some of the mail then into her mail bag. And they believe that is what, in fact, she was bringing home and then subsequently using. And that is part of the evidence that we're now seeing in the side complaint. And then looking, of course, to the sentencing in the fall.
All right, Yasmin, we thank you for that.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, we are back now with a terrifying robbery caught on camera. Two armed thieves ambushing a Brinks armored truck driver, taking her gun and making off with more than $700,000. The suspect still on the loose, leaving a community on edge. NBC's Erin McLaughlin has the latest on that investigation.
Tonight, a brazen robbery caught on camera. You see an armed Brinks truck parked outside a supermarket near Philadelphia. The driver, who police asked us to blur this video, is quickly followed by two armed men.
They pointed their firearms at the driver, ordered the driver to turn over their handgun, and then took the 2 bags of money. I think it was about 15 seconds total, start to finish.
You see the suspects make a run for it. One armed with an AR-15 style firearm. Police saying the duo got away with 2 bags of cash believed to be worth more than $700,000. Seconds before the robbery happened, you can see a bystander walking into the store.
The risk of violence to all the bystanders was very, very high.
But also how easy it was.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it was out in the open. There was really nothing to prevent that from occurring.
Tuesday's heist, the latest in a series targeting armed trucks across Pennsylvania this summer, including this one back in June, where prosecutors say gunmen took off with more than $2 million after robbing another Brinks driver outside of a Home Depot. Tonight, they've announced 3 suspects arrested in that heist, one of them a former Brinks employee. Brinks directed all questions to law enforcement. Police say they're investigating whether any of these robberies are connected.
It's really early in investigation, so it's tough to say, but we're going to look at every angle possible to solve this crime.
Erin McLaughlin, NBC News.
Okay, time now for Top Stories news feed. We start with disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein, now expected to be tried for a 3rd time in New York. Prosecutors preparing a retry of the sexual assault case of former actress Jessica Mann. After a jury failed to reach a verdict in June, the same jury convicted Weinstein for the assault of 2 other women. A judge has ordered the new trial to take place before the end of the year. And security cameras capturing the terrifying moment a truck slammed into a home just outside of Dallas. Take a look at this. Video shows a pickup truck plowing through the living room, demolishing everything inside. The homeowner says his 3 young kids were sleeping upstairs at the time. The driver was arrested and charged with driving while intoxicated. Wegmans is recalling several cheese products over a possible listeria contamination. The grocery store chain pulling its brand of Camembert cheese products in 9 states and Washington, D.C. over contamination concerns. So far, no illnesses have been reported. To Wegmans, customers are being asked not to consume the products and return them for a refund. Adults in the U.S. are putting down the bottles, a new poll finding that more Americans than ever are choosing not to drink alcohol. A new Gallup poll showing only 54% of adults drink alcohol in the U.S., marking the lowest number on record in 90 years. Additional research finding a majority of adults saying drinking in moderation is bad for your health. The poll did not explain if Americans are turning to other substances as a replacement. Legendary tennis star Venus Williams is returning to the U.S. Open after receiving a wildcard invite. Williams will compete in the singles Grand Slam tournament at the end of the month, becoming the oldest player in that competition in more than 4 decades. Venus holds 2 U.S. Open singles championships. This will be her first return to the venue after losing in the first round of matches back in 2023. We're back now with just days to go until that high-stakes summit between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at some of the key moments of this more than 3-year-long war in Ukraine. The desperate race to flee the war zone, the atrocities Russia left behind, and through it all, the resolve of the Ukrainian people. Here again is Richard Engel.
At 5 a.m. on February 24th, 2022, Vladimir Putin ordered his army to invade Ukraine. He launched missiles and sent attack helicopters. It was the biggest invasion in Europe since World War II. President Putin hoped his overwhelming force would capture Ukraine in one fell swoop and make it part of Russia forever. Putin said Ukraine shouldn't exist, despite decades of independence from the Soviet Union. In Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, an exodus began. Women and children loaded onto trains to be refugees. Men staying to fight as volunteers.
It has been like this all day. There's a lot of confusion about where these trains are departing from.
Others fled on foot.
The Ukrainians blew up this bridge in order to slow down the Russian advance, but it has also made it extremely difficult for people to evacuate these areas that are hotly contested.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky surprised many by staying despite what looked like impossible odds. He rejected an offer from Washington to escape with his life.
Is there a way to prevent this war from escalating even further now?
It's not about I want to talk with Putin. The world has to talk with Putin because there are no other ways to stop this war.
Ukrainian forces rallied and halted the Russian advance at the gates of Kyiv. But the missile attacks against civilians never stopped.
Attacking apartment complexes like this is a terror campaign to frighten Ukrainians into surrendering. But it's not working. And all the damage here and across this country is only convincing Ukrainians of the need to fight even harder or lose everything.
The Ukrainians kept fighting and pushed back the Russian advance. But in driving out Russian forces, they revealed the horrors of what Russian troops did in areas of Ukraine they'd occupied. In places like Bucha, bodies were discovered with their hands bound. Survivors accused Russian forces of executions and rape. Outraged, inspired, and with growing support from President Biden and European leaders, the Ukrainians managed to liberate most of their country.
They lost a lot of soldiers, a lot of tanks, a lot of equipment, just because they thought that Ukrainians will be happy to see them. But Ukrainians are happy to see them dead.
But not all of it. Russia still occupies about 20% of Ukraine, in the south along the Black Sea and in the east in an area known as the Donbass. A roughly 600-mile front line separates the two sides. And while this war has never slowed down, it has evolved. When artillery ran low, both sides quickly turned to cheap and deadly drones, making this the world's first drone war. The death toll has been staggering. Although neither side reports military losses, an independent American study this summer estimated Russia has suffered around 1 million dead and injured. Ukrainian losses are estimated to be lower, but with this war being fought on their land, Ukraine is suffering in many ways. Some Ukrainians still sleep in the subways as Putin sends his drones and missiles to attack Ukrainian cities and civilians far from the front lines.
And Tom, once again, it feels like a historic time here. Ukrainians recognize that they haven't been able to recapture all the land Russia occupied and that they may have to make territorial concessions. But they say if they do have to give away land, they should at least be in the room when those decisions are being made.
Richard Engel from that war zone once again tonight. Richard, we thank you. Air Canada saying they'll begin canceling flights starting Thursday in preparation for a possible flight attendant strike. Flight cancellations will continue Friday, stopping nearly all flights by this weekend. The airline services 130,000 passengers daily. Those impacted will be notified and are eligible for a total refund. And Taiwanese media reporting one person is missing after a typhoon hit southern Taiwan. Large waves battered the coast as thousands were evacuated to safety. Schools remain closed, and the transportation ministry saying domestic and international flights were impacted. The typhoon is expected to make landfall in China next. South Korea's former first lady has been arrested. Kim Keon-hee, wife of the country's jailed former president, was taken into custody late Tuesday, facing charges including stock fraud and bribery. A spokesperson for the special prosecutors team saying she's at risk of destroying evidence and interfering with the investigation. Okay, we're going to stay overseas now. We have the latest on an American influencer on a quest to be the youngest person to fly solo to all 7 continents. But now he's stuck in the Antarctic after touching down in a remote area of Chile without permission. Now winter weather stranding him on one of the loneliest places on the planet. NBC's Liz Kreutz has this one.
It started as a do-good mission.
I'm attempting to become the first person ever to fly to all 7 continents solo.
20-year-old pilot and influencer Ethan Guo promoting his trip around the world while raising money for childhood cancer research.
Along the way, I faced extreme weather, mechanical challenges, vast oceans, and isolation.
But what he didn't predict, legal troubles and getting stranded for weeks in the remote Chilean Antarctic after local authorities say he provided false flight plan data and flew to the continent in his single-engine Cessna illegally.
I've maintained from the very beginning that I'm innocent.
In an interview with NBC News from the military base where he's been for more than a month, Guo said he had planned to fly here in southern Argentina and then to Antarctica, but diverted to this airport because of mechanical issues and weather, and that he got permission to land.
What do you say to people who are looking at the map and it looks like you sort of bypassed Argentina and went straight to Antarctica?
The options available in South America were not great options, because it's pitch black and I don't have instruments. That means I cannot land at these airports safely because they're in the middle of these mountains.
This week, a judge dropped charges against Guo in exchange for him donating $30,000 to childhood cancer research and leaving as soon as weather conditions allow.
It's quite frankly insane, as in they say I'm free. They say the plane is free, but they won't let me leave. They won't let me fly it out.
And so, for now, he remains.
And Tom, Guo says that he is eager to leave Antarctica, where he says that his food is rationed and he has little communication with people, but he does not want to leave without his plane. So he says it could potentially be weeks before he is able to fly back to Memphis, where he began this journey.
A golf cart gone rogue. These many modes of transportation popping up more and more off the golf course, but not everyone is thrilled to see them on the roads. NBC's Jesse Kirsch got behind the wheel of one in Coral Gables and has more on this growing trend.
Whether heading to the office,
it's my daily transportation to and from home to work,
or taking the kids to school,
wave at your teachers.
More and more people are leaving their cars in the driveway and opting for a different set of wheels. Golf carts have taken over suburbia, proclaims the Wall Street Journal. And we're not talking about fairways and putting greens.
90% of the time, I prefer to get the golf cart.
In Key Biscayne, Florida, right outside Miami, Bianca Pelli uses this all-electric ride for everything from soccer practice drop-off to grocery store runs.
How does it change your mental state of being to be picking up and dropping the kids off in this versus doing it in a car?
I don't have like a rational explanation, but it just feels easier and I don't know, faster to do it with a golf cart.
According to the Wall Street Journal, by one industry estimate from cart maker Club Car, the market for road-ready golf carts has soared since the pandemic, from $1 billion to $5 billion. At last official count around 2010, the Energy Department estimated 45,000 low-speed vehicles, including mini trucks, were on U.S. roads.
We've just seen an incredible explosion of LSVs for consumer and even for commercial use off the golf course.
But not everyone is thrilled.
They just kind of block off traffic, causing, more incidents.
In McKinney, Texas, Paul Ernest says he doesn't mind when adults are driving golf carts. But that's not who's always behind the wheel.
You're seeing kids drive these golf carts who, without question, are too young to be driving these pretty much anywhere.
Of course.
When you see that, what goes through your mind?
Accident waiting to happen. It is an issue where we live. The parents are not monitoring their children driving these things.
Even if everyone isn't following them, there are rules. In Florida, for example, you need to be 15 years old with a learner's permit to drive a golf cart on 30-mile-per-hour roads. To go slightly faster, you need to upgrade your golf cart to low-speed vehicle status. That means more safety features like seatbelts plus vehicle insurance. But some worry safety rules in place are not enough.
You don't see change until there's a tragedy. And I don't want to see a tragedy in my neighborhood. I don't want to see it anywhere.
And that's a great reminder. Before you get behind the wheel of something like this, make sure you know the local rules of the road. They can vary town to town. But another thing to keep in mind, you are driving on the road with cars. So things like stop signs coming to a complete stop, that still matters. I've got turn signals here. Look at this. I even have windshield wipers and a little bit of a horn. So making sure you stay safe, you can still have a little bit of fun along the way. Tom, back to you.
We thank you so much for watching Top Story. I'm Tom Llamas in New York. Stay right there. More news on the way. We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.